last couple of days, the new rules for Mortarion and also for the Plague Burst Crawler in the new codex have been leaked. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over both of them, starting with Mortarion, then I will get on to the Plague Burst Crawler. Now, the most notable thing for Mortarion is that he is now Toughness 8 as opposed to Toughness 7. Now, this means quite a large amount because lots of the heavy weapons will be wounding on 4s instead of 3s, or 5s instead of 4s, and lots of the light weapons will be wounding in 6s instead of 5s, things like bolt guns. So toughness 7 from toughness 8 is quite a big jump, and it's certainly going to help Mortarion be resilient, because that's always the biggest flaw with Mortarion in the list, is that he is relatively easy to kill for the amount of points that he costs, so this should certainly help. In addition, the wounds brackets have been slightly nerfed and they've all gone up one. If we look previously, the top wound bracket was 9+, now it's 10+, etc. So tiny nerf there, although that's not going to make too much realistic difference. In addition, he does have an extra attack which should make him even stronger in melee than he was previously, which is certainly quite useful because 7 attacks, that's 8 attacks when you charge. That will mean that he'll certainly be able to do quite a lot of damage when he does get into melee. In addition, as for his weapons, there has been a bit of a change. Now, first of all, his pistol, the Lantern, is now only 12 inches as opposed to 18 inches previously. And as for his melee weapon, Silence, so the ever-scrating blow profile, instead of having d6 damage, it's now d3 plus 3 damage, which is extremely good because statistically he's going to do 1 or 2 more damage than previously, and it also means that he is consistently definitely going to do at least 4 damage, which is certainly very useful. However, one thing to note is on this datasheet, for some reason there isn't the Reaping Scythe attack, which is where Mortarion gets 3 attacks for each 1 attack at user -2/1. That seems to have disappeared. I don't know whether that's just because the style of the data sheets on the back of the box, or whether that is deliberate change or not. So that's probably a change. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but that is certainly going to be a bit of a nerf, although most of the time you do use the other profile, the 1 × 2 -4 d3 plus 3. So yeah, it's still going to be quite good. 8 attacks, strength 16, AP4, d3 plus 3 damage. So it's going to be slightly more brutal than it was in the last edition. However, I would be worried about how many points it goes up, because previously it was 470 points, which actually, no, sorry, 490 points, which was already quite a large amount for one unit, even with how overpowered it was. So I am slightly worried that it might be too expensive to be a viable option in the list. Now on to the Plague Burst Crawler. Sorry about the bad quality, this is the only thing that we do have. You'll have to bear with it. Now, one thing to note is that it now moves 9 inches as opposed to 8 inches, which of course is quite nice. And the long range gun, which is called the Entropy Cannons, sorry, I just completely forgot. So now they are 8 -4 d3 plus 3 as opposed to 8 -4 d6. Now this is certainly really useful because they did get those weapons did get a bit of a buff with War of the Spider. However, now they've got even more of a buff because you know that they're going to be doing at least 4 damage, similar to what it was with Mortarion, which means that lots of heavy units will automatically be killed in one shot, like Centurions, Custodians, etc., which is certainly quite nice. So it's certainly a considerable buff to the Entropy Cannons. In addition, the Plague Burst Mortar is now 8 -2 2, whereas previously it was 8 -2 d3. Now, doing flat 2 damage is certainly an improvement on previously, because it means that when they're attacking against 2-wing models like Marines, now Chaos Marines, as well as Rubric Marines, they're going to be killing them in one shot. So that is certainly going to help, having the 8 -2 2 as opposed to 8 -2 d3. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos, the Plague Spitters, because they are now a specific strength, they're strength 6 as opposed to strength user, which means that when the Plague Burst crawls in its top bracket, it does get slightly nerfed. Not that does make too much difference because, of course, in the bottom bracket, then it's a bit of a buff to the Plague Burst Crawler, but it's still a slight nerf. Another thing to note, not really. Well, oh yes, also sorry, the Plague Spitters are 12 inches as opposed to 9 inches. Of course, like all the flamers in this new edition. Now, another thing is, Plague Burst Crawler does get +1 attack. This basically means nothing because you never use it in melee, but that's quite nice to know. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. Those were the main changes with these new models that have been leaked. Make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on because every time there's any Death Guard news or leaks, I'll be putting out a video as quickly as possible. So if you enjoyed, thanks for watching. Put your opinions in the comments down below. Bye.